Hello Mzansi, this is the one and only Malum Kumkanya Yazinda Wukutama Sita Maning, the original Candyman, right here on another episode of Food Meets Music Podcast. But the Yazamos, your favorite rich uncle never comes alone. That one so I'm with an artist who goes by the name of Ancestor Young, all the way from Vela. And yeah, man, she's gonna introduce herself.
Hello Mzansi, I am Ancestor Young. Mona Velkomo. I am an artist in every form of the word. I paint, sketch, sculpt, I do poetry, and I do music. Dumelang.
Welcome to the show, my girl.
Dumelang, malmakumkani.
How are you, man?
I'm good, I'm chilled.
Ah, man, it's good. It's good. It's awesome having you on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Why are you making me nervous, man? What's up with you?
It's the energy, goddess presence.
Oh man, the first artist who comes to my podcast and she papas more than me.
Hey, atlamile, kita papa laman. Hi, Suena.
Oh man, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, Malume.
So, how have you been in your, life so far? Like, I see you graduated, by the way.
Oh, yes, I did. I graduated from Muteo Tivet College. I studied visual arts.
Yeah.
It's been good. It's been a journey that I enjoy very much so.
Oh wow, that's dope. I enjoy your journeys. Did you enjoy them? Has it been a tough one?
It's been a tough one, but nothing I can't overcome.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm Zanzibar Fetune. Today, I made another version of a chicken wrap, but this time I add a little bit of the sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Sauce boss.
Yeah, and the flavor.
Flavor.
As you can see, you can't see, but I can see that the director right now is choking right now on that meal. Guys, there's a video that's gonna show you Gucci how you make this recipe. You know me, I always love to share. Sharing is the caring. And Plompo, I got this.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry for using the African name, man. Ancestor Young.
Yeah, it was Lingling. Ancestor Young.
Help yourself. Yeah. How does it actually taste?
All right. Mukbang.
Yeah, but must be honest. If you don't like it, must be real about it.
Oh, it's dripping. Sauce dripping, mabo. Saucy.
Nice things. Oh, look at that cheese here. Look at that. Damn, man. How's it like? How's it for your liking? Imnandi.
Gakul.
Asukhalis, guys. Asukhalis. Find with Petaka, okay? By the way, for the note, this recipe costs less than $200. But it's something that I feel like you should share with your girlfriend, with your friends, family, share with the vibes, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because summer's coming in and you want people to eat light because, South Africans, we like to drink heavy. But I feel like, everything is all good and all nice, Yabo.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you feel about the cheese with the chicken?
It is absolutely delicious. Very saucy.
Oh man.
A good sacrifice. Sunlight eating.
You will make it by day. But tell me, I want to ask you a question though now.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose to do poetry than music?
Can I finish eating real quick? I feel like to be a good musician, you have to know how to storytell. So in order to be a good storyteller, you have to be a good poet.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes in processes like that. Before I create any artwork, any poem, I first decide what is the message of said piece, whether it be my visual arts or my music or my poetry. Mm-hmm. So it's all about getting the message out there.
And what type of poems do you like making?
I like making poems that is about my human experience as well as the experience of others.
Mm-hmm.
I like making music that everyone can relate to. whether it be my art, my poetry, my music, you as a human being can relate to it because it's the human experience.
Yeah.
That's what makes it special.
Okay.
Mm.
But I want to ask one thing. Um, well, how important is it? How important is it to rhyme and to have rhythm in the creative process in, let's say, making music or poems?
Rhyming is not as important as what you're trying to say.
All right.
I take musicians such as, your Amanda Blacks, your Ami Faku, the music flows. So flowing doesn't necessarily mean you have to have all the alliteration and all that. But as long as what you're trying to say, people hear, then it's a good song, it's a good poem, it's a good art piece.
What type of message do you like to? What kind of message you like sharing to the world?
I like to share my experiences as an African,
Mhm.
African spirituality, because I feel like we're going through a renaissance of the African diaspora, across the whole African diaspora. We are trying to reconnect to what has been taken from us through either colonization or apartheid. Me, I'm a born free. I love that term
Yeah.
because I was born very free. I'm very liberal in everything that I do. So being liberal means that I understand that the generations before me fought for the freedoms that I had. And why not use them? Why not use the freedoms that I had that they didn't have to express being an African in the purest way, which is through music and art and poetry. Africans were very creative, very, very creative, whether it's Africans that were taken from Africa living in America to Jamaicans to indigenous Africans right now. We're a very creative bunch.
And
So, yeah.
and by the way, guys, by the way, this is Ancestor Young by Fate. If you go through a Facebook post and everything, when you watch this episode, do yourself a favor, bring your English dictionary, your Oxford, because she's speaking some big words, you know.
Uh,
But to understand the context is what she's actually trying to say to you guys, Yabon. But benifuna ukubuza again.
mm-hmm,
Um, since you're talking about African, um, spiritual, actually, let's just say African history.
mm-hmm,
How important is our artifacts towards Africans? Because I get it, the Europeans took our artifacts years ago, million,
mm,
I mean not millions, but years ago, right?
yes.
And now we're in a modern generation, and now they don't want to give back our artifacts. First of all, what do you think is the reason behind that? Why people from Europe don't want to give back our artifacts?
Um, Mainly for what I think, and this is
Your
just
opinion.
my opinion, I think the reason why it's still there, and it's not just something unique to Africa alone, they also have artifacts from um, Asia, Southeast Asia, they have artifacts from Native Americas. The reason why they don't want to give it back is because it's dope. It is dope. We are dope. People of color, we are dope in everything that we do. And I'm not trying to take away any European achievements, but we were able to come up with all these things without the presence of hurt. We were
Okay.
able to connect with God in a manner that doesn't need to take away from anyone else. I'm not saying that Africans didn't have their own wars, pre-colonial, didn't have their own conflicts, but the way that we went about it, according to the history that I've learned, is that Africans have this central thing of Ubuntu, which is very important. Every African or South African knows what Ubuntu means, Boto, to be human, which means I can hurt you, but only to a certain extent. I will never degrade you or make you feel less than because of who you are or where you come from. So the reason why our artifacts are still there is because, well, we're dope. We're dope. We influenced a lot of art movements. You see works from Picasso and abstract expressionism and movements like that. It's a connection to the divine in its purest form without the restrictions of institutions. Mm,
Oh, I understand. So, since you talk about African, right?
yeah.
People like talking about African spirituality.
Yes.
How spiritual? Okay, let me not go too deep, right?
All
But
right.
my question is, how do I put it? In terms of music, how spiritual is music for everybody?
Music is the most efficient language that human beings have. You know, you might not understand what I'm saying, but when you hear the sounds of or the manner in which I say it or sing it, that communicates more effectively than language. If I sing you a sad song, you don't necessarily have to understand what I'm saying, but from the tone and the sound that comes from it, you can understand it like that. Mm.
I know, I totally understand. But my question is to you is, why did you choose to do poetry first before you start doing music? Before we come to your profession?
Um, let me put it this way. I am a skilled artist. I am a talented poet. My talent is poetry and writing, but my skill is drawing and sculpting and painting. So before I could draw, before I could paint, I was able to write.
Hmm?
So that's why I chose the direction that I did, because it's one thing for people to hear you, but I wanted to encompass everyone. And some people can't hear, some people can't read, some people can't see. So I try to cater for everyone in the message that I'm trying to relay, which is be proud of who you are, be proud of your culture, be proud of your heritage, no matter where you come from. We are a beautiful people. We really are.
Oh man, oh, that's beautiful. But I want to ask as well, Yabon.
Mm-hmm.
Years and now that you save our home. First of all, I saw that your work has been recognized by Sir Ramaphosa. And by
Ah,
the way,
yes.
my age ways are 350s. I was broke last year, bro. Was it like the year before that? And you have load shedding and shit, man. You're like close to this nigga, bro. Like you're like, "Arr." Bruh.
What's about when I met President Ramaphosa? It was through the Autism's Academy in Bloemfontein. So he'd come to our campus to see the work that we're doing. And in
Was that in
Muteo,
Mintel?
yes, in Muteo. So in Muteo, we had many different art forms that they taught us. We had jewelry design, we have painting, we have
So again, in this art industry, first of all, who helped you out in this game? From Vela, probably. Or anyway.
my first mentor was a teacher by the name Candice Kluter. I was a very naughty child in high school, very, very naughty. I used to get detention every single day because of behavioral issues, but she taught me how to channel my destructive behavior into something beautiful. So Miss Candice Kluter was the first mentor. The second mentor was Abdi Kafu from the Leisure Luputsa Department of Arts and Culture, who taught me how to refine my skill.
Mm-hmm.
From there on, I was able to compile a portfolio good enough for me to apply to go study the arts. And I met a lecturer by the name Ntate Lemohang. Yes, Lemohang Skeloane. He is a very famous painter in Bloemfontein who uses every medium possibly known to man. That man is quite amazing. And he taught me to be free within my work. Yes, there's a certain um, expectation from an artist, but don't let that take away from your purpose of being an artist. And my purpose as an artist is to showcase the beauty of my people and my culture and my heritage. I practice an art style I've invented called Ngunism. So what Ngunism is taking the ancient patterns of Ditema and Ndebele prints, Ntibidi from West Africa and molding it into contemporary work. As an African, you can relate to it, but as a non African, you're very curious about it. It's very native to Africa, it's very indigenous to Africa, but as somebody who is not of the African diaspora, you can still relate to it because, Africans were the first to make art, man. And
Why do you have?
not to brag, but, the Khoisan paintings are the oldest in the world
Mhm.
and were the first art forms that human beings were introduced to. The cave paintings of, your Kachin and your rain beast, and then coming to Ndebele Prince and Ditima, which were an explanation of not only your tribe but your family. That's why it's painted on the walls. And then coming to our textiles and our beadworks and the kangas, which are adorned by sangomas. Our art is never just something beautiful, but it always has a message. And that's why I make art. It's not only aesthetically pleasing, but it's deeply spiritual.
Wow. Wow. I am touched. You know what I'm saying? I am touched right now. I feel like is it cause I'm going to yabona.
Yeah.
Awala le ntombazana lena mbra imfethu into zakhe zithetha mfethu zenza sense kuyabona.
Mm.
And actually, I watched one of your paintings called The Gold Digger. Oh,
Yes,
oh man,
the
my
gold
God.
digger.
Oh,
Yo.
that one is real. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like politicians are supposed to pay attention to that and understand the real message behind it. But tell the viewers who don't know what the Gold Digger concept briefly, shortly, briefly. Tell them what Gold Digger is about.
So first and foremost, gold digger is about 057.
Welcome.
Welcome. Free State Welcome 057. And anyone who grew up in Welcome knows that mining is a central part of our economy.
Yeah, true that.
Without mining, we wouldn't have all the things that we have. We wouldn't have the economy that we have. Poverty would be a whole lot more because of not having the mining that we have. So the reason why I created Gold Digger is because every time I've heard the phrase gold digger, it always has a double meaning. It either refers to women who are seen as they just want men's money.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
also a gold digger is a tribute to the mining women of Valcom. Every time you see a miner, you think of an old man or a very tough man
Yeah,
who
true,
works
true,
deep
true,
in the mines.
true,
But
true.
there are also women there.
And
And there is a certain softness about their toughness that I wanted to explore, but also the stigma that comes from being a gold digger. Being an African, Munna Kena, the provider of the household. But that's not always the case of the population or the
situation
household.
right now.
Yeah, that's not always the case. So when you call a woman a gold digger in Valcom, there's always two meanings. It's either she's a miner who literally digs for gold and is the central breadwinner to a most likely single parent home, but it also talks about how women are perceived to be wanting money from men, even though we are more than capable of getting our own.
Wow, wow, okay.
Mm.
But I just wanted to say, like, what do you think government should do? I mean, like, what do you think government should do? Let's say the Lejuputa arts and culture or Free State, basically. Like, what do you think they should do to let's take it home. Let's take it home.
Hmm.
Let's take it to Lejuputa. Like, are you working there?
Yes, I'm still working there. I have a studio in the Leisure Buta Department of Arts and Culture. Yes.
So, what opportunities are there, or what opportunities could be there when for like an artist? Like, are you doing any mentorship for
Yes.
artists or any project you're doing for artists? Like, fine art painters, by the way, but even fine art photographers. Shout out
Yes.
to Bongani Shabalala.
Yes, Bongani Shabalala,
Oh
very
man, shout out to
talented young
you.
man who I am so privileged to call a friend. But in terms of mentorship, there are a lot of mentorship programs in the Lujuluputa district. We have everything from film to fine arts to dance to poetry to theater. So there's a lot of opportunities, but the problem is people don't know about it
Okay,
because
awareness or
it's mainly because of awareness, because if you don't know where to find it, you don't look for it. So my purpose of being here is to say that there are opportunities for us out there, the talented creatives. There is a lot. There's a program running at the Lejeleputa district where artists are able to paint, able to sculpt, to sketch, able to perform dances that contribute to not only our economy but to our culture as well. So there are mentorship programs. Don't be fooled. Diteng, dingata. Where not just ask the right questions and you will find the answers you're looking for.
But when you say the right question, so one, do they go to you?
They can go to me. They
Oh.
can Google if they want Department of Arts and Culture, Lujelupuza. It's there on the internet. They're there on the socials. But if you are looking for where my specific practice is, which is painting and sculpting, you can always go to my socials at Ancestor Young or the Young Sister on Instagram. I'm happy to answer any and every question.
You heard that, Buffett. You heard that. She's out here.
Toho ngalebatla lona di-artisti.
For reals, man. I mean, like, the girl's pushing hard and she's pushing heavily. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I'm actually quite proud of her, man. You know what I'm saying? Besides anything else, she is very smart. You know what I'm saying? Ayabona, fuck, I'm like I don't say it to yabona. But otherwise, one question though, Kostalele, man. And really like our parents. What man means the art, you're doing the arts, but hey, art is not making money. What's your opinion about that? Are you guys making the money? Because some are making the money, guys. Hey, Joe, if you're winning international awards, you're making money, dollars. But tell us, let's talk about Uma. Let's say about Chabalala. Who's the other girl? Nandi.
Yeah, Nandi Payan, she's also a fine artist that, well, she's based in Bloemfontein right now, but yeah, she's one of the artists that I look up to, yes.
But then it's kind of like the money part.
The money part, ne?
Yes, they call it, not, let's not use the word funny, but in that one, it is to make streams. Can you live from it?
Yes, let me talk about my experiences, ne?
Yes.
Naki pilaka pente, guys. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I get paid to make art. I get paid to teach art. I get paid by other artists to write about art.
Wow.
So
you're busy.
Yeah, man.
You work
very much. Independent
Wait,
woman.
but, where are we gonna go to Cuba and like just Taiwan?
Bruh. Hey, we are fighting for generational wealth. We don't waste it on frivolous things.
Man,
We don't waste it on frivolous things. But in terms of making money as an artist, what I've noticed, a lot of artists are technically skilled in making the work, but they don't know how to express themselves through the writing of the work.
Okay.
So you can make an art piece, it's beautiful, but once a prospective buyer asks you, so explain this piece, what does it mean? That's where artists get stuck. I'm privileged enough to.
How is it important for the buyer to know that, to know the meaning of it?
It's important because in order to appreciate a work, you must know the artist's intention.
But then the question is, how are you an artist and not even? I mean, it all makes sense for me to paint something, and then it's difficult for me to explain what it is.
That's where analysis of art comes in. You should know if you use certain colors, certain shapes, certain shades, and certain compositions. There is a meaning with every one of those aspects. So let's say you were to paint a portrait, and it's a beautiful portrait, but then somebody asks you, what was your intention of painting this portrait? You can't just say, no, it's pretty. And it is, but there has to be a deeper meaning for that beauty. Now I like to relate it to the shifting of the beauty standard, whether internationally or nationally. When you paint a black woman with a certain skin tone, you should relate it to how that certain skin tone is being seen by people other than yourself. Okay. Like being a black woman, I'm very aware of colorism. I'm very aware of featureism, which is the more you are closely related to the European aesthetic, the more you are seen as more beautiful.
Okay.
But that does not mean that my sisters with the dark skin, the big noses, the big lips, no. It's going against that and showcasing the beauty that other people might not see, but you see. So explaining an art piece comes with that. The same way you were to paint a ndumba
Yeah.
and a castle. You know, the ndumba is not just something that's aesthetic, it's deeply spiritual. And for Africans, especially Bantu people, which is my people, the Ngoni people, Basotho, the resting place of the ancestors where they come to us and see us. So if you're going to paint an ndumba, you should know what the purpose of the ndumba is and how it relates to you as an artist. That's basically art analysis shortcut. Why and how.
All right.
The why is, why did I paint this and how did I paint this? Color plays a very huge aspect in this. Composition plays a very huge aspect. Line work plays a very huge aspect. There's a lot of art styles out there. I'm not going to dictate how you should paint, how you should draw, but you as an artist, you should know why you do what you do.
All right. No, I understand. It's more like trying to like saying understanding your craft.
Yes.
Because like a lot of artists, like they say musicians, when they come to my podcast and I ask them questions like, "What is your band identity?" They don't even know the identity of they work. They don't understand who they are as an artist and what they do. So it makes sense when you say that you're trying to help people out and also for people to have self awareness about what they create and what
Yeah,
and because I mean it makes sense if we don't know you, you need to like give
tell
us a
us who you are.
full scale Gucci. What is that you're showing us? What is it you're feeling and how should we receive it? Do you understand? But also born again man, this other event, have you heard about this event called it's a dope and I said I want to take you there, man.
Yeah, you should.
What is it? It's called Canvas and Bed.
Canvas and Bev.
Yeah, didn't I send you the picture?
Oh, the one by Bacon Be Honest.
Yeah,
Yes.
that clip. Yeah, man,
Yes.
how do you feel about such events? Just to
I love it so much because
shout out to Bacon. You heard
shout
what
out
she
to
said.
Bacon and Taco. You guys are amazing. But I love that art has now is doing what art was intended for. Art was never made to be institutionalized.
Yeah.
It is because it's an asset. That's why it's institutionalized. But art is for the people, man. Um, you don't necessarily have to have an abundance of money to be connected to an art piece. No, art is for the people, whether it is hearing a Casper Nyovest song on radio versus streaming the song itself, or seeing an art piece by an artist. Yes, we as artists want to get paid for our work. Don't get me wrong. We need to get paid. We live in a capitalist society,
Yeah,
you
indeed,
know.
indeed. We
Our
have to pay bills,
creativity,
man.
yeah, our creativity is our money maker. But at the same time, I'm very much aware that art is for the people. You know, if art was not for the people, then it wouldn't be shown to people, you understand?
I definitely understand. I definitely get
So
you.
I appreciate Canvas and Bev bringing art to the people and letting them experience the arts
We're gonna
in
go
its
there.
purest
We're
form.
gonna go
Yeah,
there.
we have to.
That's fine. Then you don't have to take me to Caverna, right?
Yeah. I'll take you to a museum, but not to a club, Askis.
Man, you don't want to pop bottles. That's fine. But
No.
anyway, but
The only bottles I pop is paint bottles. That's my only
oh, you
bottles.
cocky, man. Like, damn, girl, whose girlfriend are you? Right here.
Eh.
But I just want to say, man, thank you for your knowledge, man, because you're just out here just feeding me like abundance of information. You understand?
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
that's
one. Now this sense comes slung abundance. Look that in the dictionary.
abundance. Yeah.
But um, also Titiani, man, like actually, what kind of movement would you want to create besides the canvas and web? What kind of movement would you create
My
for, for to make I don't know to make art? I want
more
man, be la way man, be
Let me first tell you about my experiences and then I'll tell you about my intentions.
yeah briefly.
Yes, briefly. So, when I was still a student of the arts, the section in our history of art textbooks on African art was very little, less than 100 pages. And this book was very thick, over 1,000 pages. So to reduce African art to just 1,000 pages, it really did make me sad because there's a certain sophistication and ingenuity behind our art.
Mhm.
So when I started the art movement of Ungunism, which is now being joined by artists such as Kulest Benda, which is Skunk,
Shout out to Skunk.
and Beams, as well as Munye of Machabeng Media Production.
Alright, I see him. Is he a
He's a
videographer or what?
yes, videographer, photographer, Yonkinto. He
Explain.
does.
It was a necessary recess. We had a problem with the technicalities with the technology. Understand the rhythm there? You see it? You don't see it, your problem. But anyway, back to the show, back on business. We are talking
Mm-hmm.
about Kwantuso.
Kwantu.
Kwantuso.
Kwantuso, the founder of, well, one of the founders of Question Art, a very beautiful movement in Bloemfontein where it's the combination of every art form you can think about, a collective of creative minds just coming together and doing what they do best, which is being dope in their craft. And what's nice is that they get to, the new ones get to see the OGs perform and pick up some tips from them, whether it be fashion, painting, music. It's just not only a good platform, but a very important networking tool when you're in Bloemfontein as an upcoming artist.
Also, it's like Kosokala, you got
Yeah.
God. But I don't think he
Yes.
puts you on, and yet you need to show some work.
Yes,
Or
definitely,
what
man.
criteria does the boy look at?
If you are able to produce a good quantity of work and you are very committed to the achievement of what Question Art is about, which is not only showcasing new talents, but also having those new talents get critiqued for the first time from an audience that is not going to hurt them too much.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a good starting tool, especially because it's for students by students, and we're all just trying to push when we're
Yeah.
at Question Art, and Quantu gives a very good platform for artists. Yeah.
Alright, alright.
But there's also Crossing Paths as well by Nandi Payanchis and the other artists from like CUT as well. And yeah, there's also like Dharma Arts Foundation as well if you're into music and dance. So there's a lot of places you can go to Bloom to start. If you don't know where to start, that's where to start, and they'll guide you to where you need to go or where you're going. They'll just show you the road to walk. You just have to walk it in your own way, if that makes sense.
Alright, I feel you.
Yeah, but yeah, um, that's being an artist in Bloom. But in Welcome, obviously, is very different. I'm fortunate to have been acquainted to the Literary Department of Arts and Culture as well. That's another job or collaboration opportunity for artists in Volcom that I know of. So yes, Komyaka, this is my plugs.
Plug. I feel
But
you. I feel
yeah.
you. Alright, man. So I don't know. Like I feel like you've answered like all my questions.
Mm-hmm.
And how was this experience for you with Quantuso? Like, with him. So, but like, okay, what I'm trying to say is, don't you think the district needs to kind of make their own sort of kung fu soulish type of
Thing is, with question art, right? It's artists pushing artists.
really?
That's it. Yeah, it's the department is not sponsoring them. Though I really wish they would. Mare, it gives the creator freedom to really hone in on what their goals and achievements are as a collective. You
Mm-hmm.
know, a lot of people feel like even though it is, Mar, we can't, as artists, we can't always rely
On government
on government for everything. You have to some
push.
degree, push yourself. Bona bata bona ba o patale, mare you can't expect to be somewhere and start nowhere, bruh. You gotta start, bruh. That's all I'm trying to say. You gotta start, bruh. And question art was that for me. I arrived in Bloemfontein not knowing who and what to do. I met up with artists that I met up with at school, and we were called by them. They're like, "Hey, we like your work. Would you like to collaborate with us and start our own student exhibition?"
Mm.
And that student exhibition legit means an exhibition of every creative talent that there is. There are performances while you're surrounded by good art and good music and good people that you can actually network with and have opportunities to work with. It's not just a social gathering, but there are artists that you can work with there, and that's why collectives like Question Art and Crossing Paths and Damo Arts Foundation, and the one that we have formed, which is Band of the Arts, is important.
Kind of the odds you want you for.
Yes, well,
Tell
I
us
didn't
more about
form
it.
it.
You and who?
I didn't form it. I was called by them. It's me, uh, Bendo, or Beams. His social media handle is Beams. It's Skunk, Vince Smoke Skunky, and Munye, which is Machabing Munye Production. So we are a collective of artists that have formed together to create jobs for ourselves
Okay.
the same way you see other artists doing it in other avenues. It's not like people in Velcom or the Machabing district are not interested in art. Everyone loves art, bruh. There's no way that no one doesn't listen to music, you don't watch TV, you don't see dope designs on clothes. That is art. So
Mm.
let's show our people our art, which is central to them. And hence I created Gold Digger because that's exactly what it is. And we are like minded individuals with the singular goal of providing not only ourselves
Yeah.
with job avenues, but other artists as well. But like it's a plan that's still in the motions. It's only a couple of months old. So we're really at the first start. But once everything is up and running, we would really like to be interested to work as a collective, you know to yeah. Right now we have about plus minus 18 artists from Valcom um, that we want to factor in and give mentorship to and teach them how to refine their skills to where they want to be. And then from there on, we teach them how to integrate to the fine arts industry because that's where the problem is currently in Leisure Luputa. People are skilled, people have the right customer base,
But
but they don't know how to integrate to the fine art industry beyond what is closest to them, which is Leisure Luputa, bruh. And you need to be able to meet up with clients outside of your immediate space
yeah,
to
true.
really get a broader audience. And that's what art is about. Art is intellectual property, and there's only a few customers that you have in your immediate area. I'm not saying it's impossible to make a living from art. Unto level come it is. I'm living proof. But there has to be more than your town. So we're looking for artists that are skilled in their field, but don't know how to go beyond their immediate market. And that's what Band of the Art is. That's what Question art is, and that is what Crossing Paths is. That's what an art collective is.
An art movement.
An art movement, an art collective by artists for artists. Yeah, man. If you're a creative mind, we want to work with you and um, monetize on our intellect, bro. Penny for a thought, man.
Yeah, man.
Penny for a thought, you know. And I want my pennies. Yeah, I want my pennies.
Let me not go too much about
Mm.
that. My mind is lingering somewhere else. But
Yeah.
anyway, guys, let me just be honest with you now. In this podcast, I'm actually grateful to invite an artist like her because it means that this food meets music podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We don't just focus on the aspect of the food and the music,
Mm.
but also the creative spaces around it.
Mm.
Because with that artist, there's no cover pages, not cover art
Mm.
for your music, and also for
There's
like
no
there's no
fashion.
fashion, bruh, no
There's no
steez.
drip.
Man, look at me, I'm fresh,
Yeah,
fresher than
bruh.
Nelson Mandela. You know how it
Ah, wait, that, that.
is.
Yeah.
But I just want to say like shout outs to Ancestor Young, man, like
Yeah.
for pushing the movement, you
I
know.
don't do it alone, man. I really don't.
Yes, Ancestor Young and the crew.
Not Ancestor Lang and the crew. We are Band of the Arts.
Band of the arts.
Band of the Arts.
Sorry guys, sorry
Watch the
gang gang.
space.
But yeah, man, in the corporate guys with the money, because you know there are guys with the money, and you are
Yeah,
watching. We
man.
know that you're watching. Uh, you know, just don't jump peace. Just go on our DMs. You can go to our emails and just throw a young donation, yana.
Wabo.
You know, a young.
Mare, only provided that you like what you see and you can relate to it. Because there's one thing to sell to somebody for the sake of selling. No, I want my work to speak to you, and that's all we want, bruh. Because that's why we create, bruh. No artist creates for the sole purpose of this is dope. Mare, we create for the sole purpose of this is dope, and it's not for me alone.
Yeah.
Or it's for me alone, but you can relate to it. Art is for the people, man. Art is the people.
Ovela Gematot and the gays, the ladies and the gays and the lesbian and everybody, young and the old. But honestly, man, like this has been a dope experience to just. I feel like like I think people should pay attention to fine arts. Guys. I like fine arts myself,
Yeah.
but just on the photography side, man. But I liked it because of her.
Yo, bruh, but you and I go way back, bruh. I went to high school with Malumku Cat.
Cool
Back when I
cat. Hey,
Yo,
hey.
Kumkani. Nah,
Hey.
but you gotta be real. You were the coolest cat around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, real
But
recognize real.
Malum Kumkani, yeah.
But honestly, like guys, I feel like we should appreciate our artists.
Yeah.
Real talk, we should appreciate our artists, and it's booming in this industry because now we get to see like fun artists who are painting celebrities, are painting other people.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's not art is not just about painting mama on a big canvas, my friend.
Mm.
It's a medium, my man,
Mm.
on its purest form, pure. Okay, but real talk, guys. Anything you want to say to the audience?
Um,
Because I'm closing.
okay. Since we are closing, all I have to say is appreciate art, and everything is art. So appreciate everything
Sorry.
that is good for you and good for those around you. And man, choose peace. Like that's it. Choose peace, and I mean that in every form of the word. Choose peace. um, yeah, man, and I hope the creatives do what they do best, which is create and retabonana in this journey of ours. Yeah,
Sizodibana,
sizodibana,
Sangana,
retokopana.
Tokopana. But yeah, man, Ancestor Young is, like I said, she's not only just a professional fine art artist,
Mm-hmm.
but she's gonna restart us a poem. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And before we get to the reciting the poem. At least on the ending of the episode, at least tell us what the poem is about and what it entails.
I know promises were made, nah, and deals were spoken, but the poem that I originally sent you, I kind of changed my mind on it
Mm-hmm.
because as I was coming here, I realized what my purpose of being here is, which is telling the museum or the artist's story. So instead of the crack, which I promised to recite, I am going to recite Heart of an Artist.
Oh,
Yes.
Danko, Danko.
Just give me a moment. Can you pause?
So yeah, man.
Mm,
We're closing out for now, and you'll check as she's gonna perform Ashandis.
yes.
Danko means thank you. This umaran on malum kukan kutamaswita mani. The original handyman.
Candyman. So this next piece is titled Is It Rhythm? Is It Poetry? So basically, it is about my experiences and my journey as an artist so far. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it gives you peace of mind. The heart of an artist is covered in paint. Skillful hands have never prayed to saints. Penny for my thoughts, and I still haven't gone paid. Slip through the membrane, it is osmosis. Leaving the impurities behind is part of the process. I once parted the crowd. When I walk, I felt like Moses. I've been wandering the desert for days now. Am I really chosen? Nothing is never yours until you own it. You aired your dirty laundry out. I think it's about time you fold it. Baptized by bleach, I'm on my blonde and I'm quite frank with this ocean. Skillful hands know how to sway with the motion, but when I ask them, they don't tell you who wrote it. I wrote it. Thank you.